Magashule, Jeremy Meggs spoke to The Economist.
A further $60 billion in terms of commitment as far as China is concerned. If I was hearing that correctly, that wasn't to this country, but it was an Africa-wide reach out. In the bigger scale of things, that's not a lot of money.
No, it's not much.
And again, China will be expecting a maximum ROI on that.
Very much, except for those countries that the President Ramaphosa talks to that have got weak economies, they can't pay or sell.
So that becomes a handout in other
words. It becomes a grant.
With strings attached, though?
I hope not.
But inevitably, surely.
No, it shouldn't. You know. Remember, Jeremy, through the International Monetary Fund, we had a program called Highly Indebted Poor Countries Program, HIPIC for a short. And Mozambique became a beneficiary. And what happened next is how the Mozambican politician went to the till and looted Mozambique. Today, Mozambique is struggling because there's a Cunha scandal. There's millions of problems around their gas reserves because of corrupt politicians. So the danger around grants or free money or these poor these facilities where you take away the debt is that African politicians then use that window to loot. And that's, for me, the fear, that when there's free money, it always lands up in wrong pockets. And I think the president or FOCAC itself will ensure that those that get free money, the politicians are held to account that there's no leakage because there's free money.
It's going to be a very difficult job to do that, though.
Well, it's difficult with us. We've got a commission of inquiry, and we have yet to see the big guns, whom we know that also might have a hand. We know that, for example, Jeremy, that the two leading politicians in the ANC top six, their kids work for the Guptas. I'm talking here about Jessie Duarte, as well as the General Secretary of the party, whose kids work for the Guptas. So they must have known something. So what to hear from them? There's a commission of inquiry. So the fact that President was talking about the effort in the interviews that the ANC has tried to do, or the country trying to do around corruption, we remain very vigilant, because as long as those characters that were very close to the Guptas remain and refuse to come to the Commission of Inquiry, we have no trust. I don't know where these numbers of people that have flown back to the ANC are coming from, given the fact that in the past 24 years of our democracy, we have failed our own people. Inequality, poverty has worsened under a black government, and yet those that are in the ANC leadership have become richer.
In response, Duarte says her children have not worked for the controversial Gupta family, but she does acknowledge that her son-in-law, Ian Whitley, made a mistake by accepting a chief of staff job offer in the office of former finance minister Des van Rooyen during his 4-day stint in December 2015. She says Mondi should testify at the State Capture Commission if he has evidence.
And I am saying that my children, I have two children my daughter does not and has never worked for the Guptas. My son ran an IT company, his own company. It is no longer functioning. He did not work for the Guptas. I do not say that he didn't know them. I can't answer that, because if the commission wants to ask that question, they need to ask him and his business associates. That I wouldn't know. But having worked for the Guptas, no. Have I ever been in a position where I've received any kind of assistance because of my children working for anybody? No. I earn a salary. I have always earned a salary. I live from the salary that I earn. My son-in-law was employed by Des van Rooyen. We all know that that is a matter that is going to the Zondo Commission. I'm happy about that. I, in fact, asked my son-in-law not to go and work for National Treasury because of the context that nobody works for National Treasury unless you've actually been screened by a particular group of people. I think my son-in-law made a mistake to accept the offer that was made to him to be a chief of staff in the office of Mr. Des van Rooyen. Eventually he did work with him when he worked in Gupta. But I think Mr. Lumkile Mondi, perhaps if he has anything that he thinks I have done wrong, he equally should go to the Commission of Inquiry. I have never refused to go, and if I am called, I will be very happy to oblige if I'm able to assist the Commission in any way possible.